Welcome. We're excited to have you join in as we talk with Ali Brown, founder of the Triple Digits Tribe. Good morning, Ali. How are you?
I'm awesome, Sharyn. I'm much better than the first one. It's a lot less stressful when the link is working.
Yay to us. And so this is part two of our conversation with Ali, and we're going to talk about a topic that she is quite passionate about in a moment. But if you have only just checking in, please go back and have a look at part one. And the links are certainly on our Facebook page here, or you can actually go to my website, and I'll pop the link at the end of this broadcast so that you can actually go back and have a look at the replay if you missed part one. So, Ali, tell us a little bit about Triple Digits Tribe for those who are just joining us for the first time.
Okay, so Triple Digits Tribe the name comes from my philosophy on life, which is joining the Triple Digits Club, which is, leading a long and healthy life and making it to 100 or longer. That's always been something I said, and it just made sense to name the company after that. So it's all about online programs, workshops that help you enhance your well-being through plant-based principles for your diet. So lots more to come, but yeah, that's where we're at the moment.
With the idea of not only getting to being a triple digit, 100, but to be there in a quality that you can enjoy being 100.
Absolutely. To feel vital, to feel healthy, to feel, delighted at being around at that age.
And because it's really interesting, you think about when we were kids and the average life expectancy back then, would have been so entirely different. I'm sure you can remember if we met someone who was in their 40s, they looked, probably like someone we would find in their 80s these days. You have those memories as well?
Absolutely. And, when you hear about middle-aged, and, I'm 45 now, and that's the time that, you're supposed to be midlife crisis and that sort of thing. I thought, I'm not middle-aged yet. That'll be in my 50s. That's when I'll be halfway.
If we're extending the timeline, it's then saying, well, so does the middle of this age go. And, a lot of our audience are, those 35-year-old plus women and, in Generation X. And I think, we are really redefining what that midlife looks like, what people having their attitudes and beliefs in their 40s and 50s, and so much of that whole "well, it had to retire at a certain age" type of concept that we knew and saw, and even going back to Ali, when probably our grandparents' era, where they worked 30 and 40 years at the same job, right?
Yes.
How different that is.
Yes. And how it was back then with when you would retire, and you would see it happen all the time, that within a couple of years of retiring, if that people would just die.
Yes.
And that's not how it is anymore. And what's really exciting is, as you said, like, we're redefining things, but it's women essentially that are redefining everything at the moment. And it's just a really exciting time and exciting to be part of. The women are rising up.
I'm remembering a gentleman talking years ago, and I want to say years ago, it's like 12, 15 years ago, and he said, the average age is going to get closer to 100, 120, and so therefore we will be having, multiple chapters, multiple stages, multiple careers through this. And it was like, wow. And that was only, 15 odd years ago that this was started to be floated, because, retirement and that sort of like work-life play, looks very different from then. And this is a really great lead into talking about our topic today with you, which is, the Busy Girl's Guide to Breakfast, which I love. And so, tell us a little bit about what the Busy Girl's Guide to Breakfast concept's about.
So for me, it's for everyone, really. It's just the world that we live in at the moment, that everyone's busy. There's schedules, there's to-do lists, there's school runs, there's after-school activities, there's all these things that we're meant to juggle as women. And, oftentimes breakfast is the first thing that's overlooked in a busy schedule. I'll grab something on the way, I'll make do until lunchtime. I just don't have time for breakfast. So, and I mean, I know that because I was that person for a very long time. I would much prefer to get an extra 10 minutes of sleep than to get up and cook breakfast. So I just wanted to. I just felt that there, so many people are overlooking it, and for me, breakfast is my favourite meal of the day. Like,
right.
I love to go out for breakfast when the opportunity arises. I love to have a 2-course breakfast. I'm all about, fueling yourself at the beginning of the day. It's no point keeping all your food till the end of the day when all you're going to do is flop in front of the TV and go to bed. Like, I'm all about that's Triple Digits Tribe in a nutshell. Really is about flipping everything on its head and going, hey, that's not the way that we have to do it. There are better ways. So.
Let's get started. We have got these 5 things, which Ali's going to take us through around, breakfast fun. So let's head up with you snooze, you lose.
Yes, as I was just talking about. And that comes from many, many years in the kitchen as well, that I was not a morning person, because you'd be getting home very late at night. And the alarm clock was my worst enemy when it would go off of a morning, and it can't be that time yet. Snooze, snooze, snooze. And, just leaving yourself the minimal amount of time and racing out the door. So that was the concept behind this ebook, is to just show you, simple, tasty, nutritious recipes that can be done in 5 minutes flat. I would never prioritize breakfast, because in my mind it would take me way too long to get it ready, and I'd rather hit snooze again for 10 minutes. But it's quite simple, really, to actually get an adequate, nourishing breakfast in 5 minutes. It's really surprising what you can create in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, so the second tip is breakfast, your new BFF.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's time to, if you're not prioritising breakfast, if you're not making time for it, if you are that busy girl and you were like me that I just described, it's time to put yourself first again and just make little tweaks to your routine. It's 5 minutes, and it's going to set you up for an optimal day. It's going to fuel you well, it's going to nourish you, it's going to kickstart your body, it's going to get everything working right at the beginning of the day, and it will fuel you through to lunchtime and sometimes beyond, especially if you have 2 courses like I do at times.
This is a great idea. When you give breakfast, as we were just saying, and that that 9 mid-morning part comes, you think, why do I do that? So we do a bit of that, bashing ourselves up a bit about that too, right?
Yes, and then you get that energy slump, you get that crash. If you're really lucky, you get a case of the hangries as well to go along with it.
No one wants that. Okay, so tip number 3 is 5 minutes flat, getting breakfast in 5 minutes.
Absolutely. It can be done. It's amazing what you can do in 5 minutes. So I put together in the ebook 5 recipes, and I kept it to, things that you can make on the spot, because, there's other things that you can have ingredients prepared beforehand for, but this is just from go to woe. It's 5 minutes. So even things like a beautiful bowl of porridge, in this, as we're coming into the cooler weather, it can be done in 5 minutes. And I've put a couple of variations in there. My favourite one at the moment is the apple pie porridge, which you grate half an apple into the oatmeal as it's cooking, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of brown sugar. I'm a traditional girl when it comes to my oats, and I must have brown sugar. A little bit of coconut milk, and it's sensational. And the good thing about it too is, if you are in a massive hurry, just throw it in your keep cup. Take it with you. Too easy. Or, sit down and have it with you.
So that
10 minutes and you're done.
Leads
5
us
minutes,
on to
5 minutes to eat.
leads us on to point number 4, which is the make and take. So, what are really good things around that we can help ourselves with make and take?
Absolutely. So leading into that, I was just talking about the porridge. That is awesome. I've also put in a really basic fruit salad, and I've actually called it fruit salad keep cups, because it's something, you grab your 4 or 5 bits of fruit and you quickly chop it, throw it in your keep cup, a scoop of coconut yogurt, a sprinkle of coconut, or anything like that on the top, and it's beautiful. You can eat it on your commute, things like that. Then you've got things like your chia puddings that you can make overnight with your berries. You can do overnight oats or bircher mueslis, things like that. If you're not doing gluten, another good option is to have pre-cooked quinoa, and you swap out the oats for the quinoa, and it's delicious, absolutely delicious. Throw in your fruits and your nuts, seeds, things like that, and they're all really nutrient dense and really tasty and really quick.
The keep cups, and I'm thinking that getting, say, 3 or 4 of those, and you could chop stuff up or prepare so that there's a few ready to go.
Absolutely. You can even look at doing slow cooker ones, like doing, homemade baked beans in your slow cooker overnight. So you get up in the morning, you've got that lovely smell wafting through the house, and you've got the beans bubbling away there, and
slow cooker.
There's so many solutions when we think ahead, like, and a lot of it just comes down to the planning too, and people that know me well would say, you're a person that's talking about planning, when I've always been a, fly by the seat of my pants kind of gal.
But not when it comes to food.
No, it doesn't take a lot to, think ahead and have these options ready. Yeah. And to have it sitting there overnight, cooking away or setting overnight. So it's just a matter of opening the fridge in the morning, grab it and go.
That's such a great idea. And maybe that leads us into tip 5, which is oh my gosh, I've slept in, what do I do now?
Yeah. So these are things that, it could be as simple as a smoothie that you're throwing in. If you have some protein powder on hand, and you can even have like your frozen organic berries in the freezer, and it's just a matter of throwing them in with a banana into a smoothie, or having different things like a granola that you've got made up. So it doesn't matter. I'm a big fan of granolas and things that are nice and crunchy and lots of seeds and nuts in them, because you can eat them as is without having to have milk. So if it's something that you're running late, you just grab a scoop of that on your way out the door, and you can have it next to you in the car and just, be nibbling on it as you go. It's just, being prepared is the best way to make breakfast a part of your routine again.
But I also think that the preparation part, which you are doing really well in this migration of helping people to, get to this triple digits, is to understand what are those staples in the pantry, what are those things to have on hand, because it might be great that you go in and think, oh, well, I'm going to do that. But if you don't necessarily have that backup of what's in there simply, and, as an outsider to some of the health warrior messages and the organic, intensely, focused people, where's step 1? And I think this is the part that your program and your vision is so fantastic about.
Yeah, it's really breaking it down to making it as simple as possible. And when it's simple, people aren't afraid to experiment, and it makes it really easy to, make these little tweaks. And it could be a matter of, once a week you tweak something else in your diet. I'm actually going to start a series soon called Swapping It Out, something around those lines, where it shows you, just like little tweaks that you can make. And I'll cover a different topic every week and just do a live video and that sort of thing. So it's just about making it accessible.
I would love a little tasting of all those too, because say you wanted to stop out, not that I use white sugar, but, let's say you wanted to swap out white sugar and all the alternatives that you can have for that. And then it's just like understanding, if that's going to make it a little bit more tart, or that's going to make it a bit more savoury, all the alternatives. It's just understanding what the impact would be in swapping out, as you're saying, your existing recipes.
Definitely. Even things like, I said before that I'm a brown sugar fan when it comes to my porridge. And I often swap that out for Rapidura sugar. because it's the same color and you're getting the same sort of flavor and that depth of flavor that you get with the brown sugar. But most people are like, oh, what's Rapadura sugar?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, we definitely look forward to that little episode when you've got that ready. The part that Ali does have ready and very excited about is, let me just pop it here. I'll get into the camera here. And that is, got to go, all going here, the Busy Girl's Guide to Breakfast and 5 of your cafe favourites in 5 minutes flat, which is exactly what Ali talked about in promising you. And as I open it up, there's some beautiful recipes and images there, okay? And what's fantastic is we'll pop the link down the bottom and you can get your access to a free copy of this beautiful ebook thanks to Ali. And when you do, you're also going to draw to win a membership of the Triple Digits Tribe membership. And so that's fantastic. Thank you so much for that gift, Ali.
You're very welcome.
Excellent.
And in the Cafe Favourites too, I couldn't do a Cafe Favourites ebook without including Smashed Avo in there.
That's true. That is true. And let me just get to it. There's a, where is it? Oh, yes, we've got the beautiful Avo Smash there. So that'll be a favourite, no doubt. And also some more about the Keep Cups, which is a fantastic idea, and the options that you mentioned about how to use those, which is amazing. So to enter the prize draw to get both your free copy of the ebook and also to go in the draw for one of you will win a membership. I'll pop the links below so that you can take advantage of those at the end of this broadcast as well. And if you want to find out more about Ali's amazing talents, head over to tripledigitstribe.com and you can connect with Ali and learn more about her vision of this. And as we get ready to wrap, Ali, is there some final little thoughts you would love to share?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sitting here so excited. Like, I get so excited by the possibilities with this. I just love opening people up to the possibilities for, how they feel within themselves. And, breakfast is such a big staple in that, with, getting your day off to a perfect start with, swapping out basic ingredients for whole food options, or just getting a nutrient dense start to your day that's going to fuel you through to lunchtime. It's even if it's just taking a Keep Cup on the bus to work with your porridge or your chia puddings or your fruit salad or something like that in there. And just we often take our bodies for granted, and it's just a way of beginning with really nourishing you, putting your self-care first. And as I like to say, you can't pour from an empty cup. So
you want to keep that cup. And when you are sitting in the bus or getting into the car with your Keep Cup with one of Ali's recipes in it, take a snap and take a little selfie and come back and pop it onto our thread here. I know that she would love to see you showing your implementation of some of the tips that she shared. And
I love to see what people come up with it too, because everyone has a little variation. It's like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's inspired, be inspired, that tile rotation. The other thing I wanted to draw back from our part one was we talked about, Ali, is just making that migration about what you are all about is, at the 21 meals you're going to eat in a week, let's say, getting how many of those can we move across to being plant-based? And even if it was one a day and, where you were focusing your meal on plants. And so Ali's, a great resource, great educator on how to make that transition, from those initial steps. And I really thank you for being so willing to support everyone on this journey. So it's been fantastic to have time with you, sharing both about your entrepreneurial journey, which is our part one, and this part two, learning a bit more about the Busy Girl's Guide to Breakfast.
Thank you, Sharyn. It's been awesome.
Our pleasure. So that's the beautiful ebook again. The links will be down in this feed so that you can go through and get your copy and also enter the prize draw. And finally, if you want to catch up on some of our guest chats that we've been having with these beautiful women that have showing up and sharing their tips with you, then head over to my website, to the show tab, and you can have a look at the rewinds, the replays, and have some inspiration floating into your day. So from Ali and I, it's goodbye for now. Thank you so much, Ali. Great to have you here. Yay!
Thanks so much, Sharyn.
We wish you a wonderful day.
Happy Thursday, everyone.